What is up, guys? My name is David and I am here with Artist Inc. I am so happy you've landed on this next workshop. Today's workshop is going to be about creating a stop motion animation. Watch me as I create my landscape, my backgrounds, and my characters for my stop motion. Below this video, you're going to find some links that are going to be very helpful for you to follow in order to utilize the Stop Motion Studio app and other things that might be helpful. So enjoy the ride, sit back, and watch me as I create my own stop motion. Don't forget to watch till the end so you can see what I created inside the Stop Motion Studio app. Enjoy. Alright guys, so before I get started and I show you what I'm working on, I'm going to talk about making your own storyboard. You can see in front that I have a quick storyboard that I created for my stop motion animation. I went ahead and I drew a quick sketch of what's going to happen in each section of my stop motion. Remember that your stop motion and your story should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can see in each box there's a description and a quick illustration of what is happening within my story. In my case, my story is going to be about Salinas Valley and the agricultural change that will happen within the next 100 years. Pay attention to what I create and follow along with me as I complete what I have within my storyboard and finish up my own stop motion. So here we see the completed actual campo that I've created. This is the field that I made out of a piece of cardboard with some glue and some moss that I had laying around my house. And I'm going to use this field as my landscape for my campesinos as they are going to be moving across just like this, and they're going to be animated within the Stop Motion Studio app. So make sure that you watch those actual intros on how to use the app, and make sure you click on the links provided below this video so you can understand how to properly use the app and animate all your figures and animate anything that's going to be moving within your stop motion. That way it looks awesome. Here are some other items that are going to be moving within my stop motion. I have a drone, a couple drones that are going to be moving. So please make sure you keep note of what are the objects that you are going to be moving inside your stop motion. I have already decided that my drones are going to be moving, my campesinos are going to be moving, this bus is going to be moving, and the only things that I think won't be moving are going to be my backgrounds, the field that I created right here, this campo, and these two mountain scenes. So stay tuned as I go ahead and develop my own stop motion and you watch me create and set up my backgrounds and everything that I need to get started filming my actual stop motion. Alright guys, so now you can see that I have my beautiful blue background that I decided to create so that my animation can come together. I went ahead and just used cardboard and some tape to put this little background together. So if you have some paint, make sure that you utilize that paint to either paint your backgrounds, paint your figures, or paint anything you need to make your animation look awesome. I'm going to go ahead and start just building my actual scene, building my setup. That way I can start shooting my animation. You've seen me actually demonstrate what my mountains look like, and now you can start seeing in real time how to properly lay your actual scene. You can see that these backgrounds are starting to actually come to life. And now I'm just going to go ahead and play around with this and see if I can find something that I really enjoy so I can start setting my camera, putting the right angle so I can start shooting my animation. Take your time, have some fun with it, and if you can't make anything yourself, just print it out. You can also print it out. Use a magazine. You can use magazines. You can use found objects like I've mentioned before. You have Legos. If you have Legos laying around. Some of you guys have probably used a clay in the past. Maybe you can use some clay to build some of your characters. So here we are, guys. I used more cardboard to create some stands for my mountains, and I believe these mountains can probably go somewhere right here. I'm gonna bring in my campo that I created. Remember this one? I'm gonna place him somewhere around right here. I think this will probably work. Keep in mind, guys, that you want to make sure that you stay inside the frame when you start creating your stop motion. Make sure that anything around is covered with your background nicely. That way you don't have any bleeding and don't have something you don't want to have inside your actual stop motion. So make sure that you use your frame. Make sure you keep an eye out for your camera angle. That way you don't go too off to the side and it doesn't look as appealing, right? If you have it tilted or in the wrong angle. So make sure you pay attention to the grid within the Stop Motion Studio app. That way it can help you align everything within the frame. Make sure that you follow those links inside the description right down below this video so you can know how to properly use the actual app. So let's continue setting this background, my little setup. I'm gonna go ahead and put the little valley of another field back there. I think I can probably place my other mountains in this angle right here. And I have this little home that I can use, and I can probably place that one right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and tilt and adjust my camera slightly. So play around with the composition, guys. Make sure that you're happy with the results that you're getting. And take your time, guys. This is all about having a good time and bringing your story to life. So I really like how this is coming along. I think this is going to work. And now I have a nice solid landscape that I can use to start animating my actual moving pieces. Like my campesino, for example, is one of them. The bus, right? I can animate him and bring him into the story. Now I can use, for example, this little drone guy, and I can hide him behind here, and he can come flying from the back, right? And then bringing him into the picture. Now that would be really cool. I think I'm going to do that when it's time to shoot that section of my stop motion. So maybe the only thing I need now for my stop motion is probably going to be some clouds, actually. I probably need to add some clouds so I can really create this stop motion animation and make it look just alive. So I went ahead and looked around my house, and sure behold, I have this cotton that I am going to use for my clouds. Now that's going to look awesome. I am now going to use some tape, just some regular masking tape, painter's tape, and I'm going to use that to place my clouds in my background. Alright guys, so I have a really good idea that I just thought about as I was assembling my clouds. And even though I won't be able to move my clouds, the cool thing about this cotton is that I can actually change the shape of my cloud if I just tug on it, and that would just give it some effect as I am going to animate and take different shots. I can just simply tug and pull every time I'm taking a different frame shot. So keep in mind, guys, that even just a subtle tweak will make something look awesome once you start animating and moving your objects in your stop motion. So just keep that in mind. That's something I thought about that I think will animate really nicely once I start actually recording my stop motion. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have my background laid out, and I wanted to demonstrate what I used to keep my bus still. I used some clay. I shaped my clay to create a base. I used a paintbrush that I had just laying around, put some tape behind that bus, and that is what I used to keep my bus in place and move it in sections in order to create a nice still shot. Keep in mind, when you're creating your stop motion, the more the still you have your actual objects, the better and cleaner stop motion you're going to create. Here is the other items that I used to move, which is the drones, right? I just used a little bit of some string and some tape, and now I have 2 strings with drones attached in order for me to move around and create my stop motion. So I need to make sure I have some audio added into my stop motion. Some of the things that need audio effects are going to be the drones, the robots, and this bus. Here are some examples of what you can use in order to mimic some type of sound that will resemble the objects that are moving. I will be using this razor to mimic the sound of a drone. Let's see what this sounds like. That's perfect. For my bus sound effect, I went ahead and searched YouTube for some bus sound effects, and this is what I found. Check it out. That works! So we need now a sound effect that's going to mimic the campesinos picking crops. In this case, we're going to use cilantro. That works! Another thing to mention is, when you're doing a stop motion, are you going to narrate what's happening in your stop motion? In my story, I went ahead and became a narrator for what's happening within my stop motion. So I made sure that after I was done, I wrote down everything that I needed to say in order to record my narration within my stop motion. And now I present to you my stop motion animation, the Salinas Valley in the year 2100. Enjoy. The Salinas Valley is known for its beautiful agricultural industry and is recognized for its hard-working labor force of immigrants. Throughout the years, the thriving industry would soon change rapidly as the population would double by the year 2100, leading to a demand in farming production. These events would result in bringing advanced technologies from the Silicon Valley that for a period of time would overtake many traditional labor jobs. Although many feared that this would be the end of the labor force, scientists discovered that these new technologies would promote a safer environment that would save thousands of lives by preventing injuries and harmful chemical exposure to humans. As these new ways of farming began, it would also create new job growth for thousands of machine and tech operators that would become the standard across the globe.